If you're like me, you'd be excited about the potential of AI to transform our industry. Imagine having algorithms that can assess properties with pinpoint accuracy, chatbots that provide amazing customer service 24 by 7, and predictive models that help you make smarter investment decisions. But hand in hand with this powerful technology comes serious ethical considerations we can't ignore. In this video, we are going deep into the ethical landscape surrounding AI. Welcome to day 69, the ethical implications of AI in real estate. So I'm hoping today will be more like a discussion, and we'll go through some of the main issues with AI in real estate and how those issues and concerns can be mitigated to ensure that you stay on the right side of the law and that the reputation that your business has with your clients is maintained at an adequate level. So the objectives for today would be to understand the key ethical principles surrounding AI development and use, explore the potential ethical concerns with AI within real estate, and to learn the different strategies that we can use to mitigate ethical risks, and I'll be promoting essentially responsible AI. And hopefully you can gain some insights into how to navigate ethical challenges as you adopt AI solutions. So to begin with, let's recap what we did in the last session, which was day 68. The main thing that session covered was researching into how you can research into emerging AI trends like computer vision for property analysis. But the main one we covered was generative AI and how that's used right now in the real estate industry and the different aspects of real estate that generative AI is currently being adopted. But the crucial thing for today is, as the AI capabilities within your business continue to grow and as you adopt more things within your company, it's crucial to think about the ethical implications and to make sure that you're compliant with different protocols that govern ethical concerns and ethical considerations like GDPR and CCPA, and to keep you away from the fines that you could potentially be hit with if you fall afoul of the ethical requirements. So the key principles, we'll talk about 4 key principles in AI development. First is transparency and explainability. So the key thing is everybody within your organization, including your clients, would need to understand how you handle their data. So you have to be transparent about what you do with their data, how much of the data is stored by you, how much of that data is passed on to third parties, and what happens with information that you may have collected that you don't actually require. How do you dispose of that information? And the final thing is, when they contact you to delete the information that you hold about them, you need to give them the confidence that you know exactly where that information is held and you're capable of deleting the information. So that talks about the transparency and explainability. The next principle is fairness and non-discrimination. So your AI must be designed to be fair to everybody. So no unfair bias, no discrimination. Anything that's inherently within an AI solution that portrays or pushes any bias needs to be addressed from the beginning. The stakes are high, essentially in places like in areas like lending and employment. If your AI solution automatically is biased against a certain gender or a certain demographic, that is not a good look to have, and you could potentially face fines by adopting a solution that pushes bias and discrimination. The next couple of principles are privacy and data protection. I think privacy is quite a big thing right now in the world. So you must have robust data governance regimes in place and ensure that any information you collect can be anonymized. And when it's stored, it's only the things that you absolutely must have that you store in place. And then anything else that you collect, you must get the consent of your clients. That is the expectation of the GDPR regime and also these regimes that protect your clients. And then the final thing is accountability and responsibility. So it needs to be clear who's responsible for AI system behavior in your organization. It could be internal, it could be a third party, but somebody or an entity must be responsible and must be the final stop for any inquiries regarding how your AI information and AI data is managed. So a couple of things that can lead to AI performing badly is bias. So AI would deliver information based on what it's trained on. So if you think about the algorithmic bias, this is bias inherent in the algorithms that have been designed for things like property valuation and lending. What that means is, as the AI models were trained in historical data, the historical data may contain biases. And if that information isn't weeded out or removed, then the future inferences that you'd be making with the AI models, or the future answers you'd be asking the AI systems for, would be biased as well, because it's what you've put in that is bringing out. And then there was a study in 2019 that showed that minority neighborhoods were assigned lower valuations by algorithms based on the flawed data. So this has real-world impacts on certain demographics. And there are other examples as to where algorithmic bias has been detected. One other example is in an Amazon solution that was dealing with employment. Now, what was happening was that the solution was inherently biased against females applying for certain roles, because it was trained on data that only had males of a certain complexion and a certain skill set. Privacy risk with smart home devices. Now, with many sensors being deployed in different areas of a building and different areas of the property, there is a risk that when all of that information is aggregated, that the individuals whose home generated that information could be detected or could be identified. Now, that needs to be spotted if at all there, but your solution must design that out so that there is no possibility that even if all that information is put together, that the individuals involved or individuals generating that data can be identified. So that's a risk. The other risk is displacement as a result of revitalization and gentrification. So if algorithms are relied upon to determine where the next place to gentrify is, then it is possible that if the rules are not set correctly, it would disproportionately target a certain demographic. Now, an example that has been raised here is that machine learning systems explored by real estate companies identified revitalization areas, but raised concerns on hastening the gentrification. So lack of concern for, or lack of empathy for the residents who will be displaced and removed from their homes. But this decision was made just based on algorithms. Then there's the issue of job impacts, so impacts of automation on real estate roles. This is one that you'd need to explain to your colleagues, and also for you to understand that AI will definitely automate routine tasks like marketing and lead qualification, and this may disrupt certain roles which might require you to reskill the people who will currently perform those tasks. But it's also possible that with AI being adopted, that you create new roles. So you could move the people who are doing the marketing and the lead qualification onto AI management and managing of the solution within your organization. Now, if you want to mitigate risks, then there are guidelines for mitigating risks. And at a high level, whilst you're developing your AI solution, bear these guidelines in mind. The guidelines for mitigating risks must include or must be tailored to the specific context of real estate and of your industry. It should involve different stakeholders and professionals so that as they feed into that solution, it will be more robust and more rounded, and would protect you and protect your clients from some of the potential dangers that we've already discussed. Then there's an ethical framework that governments are producing. The UK has an ethical framework for the real estate sector, so that's something that can be considered. Now, mitigating risks of transparency, the key things to bear in mind for that and key things to deploy in your business are that the document data sources that provide any input into your AI solution must be well curated, and any pre-processing that happens must happen in place, and anything that isn't required is cleanly deleted. And then you also want to think about the quality of the information that you put into your AI systems. Then the final thing is the ability to reconstruct that data from the post-process version. That needs to be in effect, you don't want to be able to recreate or reconstruct that information if it's something that isn't needed. The idea is to protect your client, and once you've told them, or once you believe that the information has been not anonymized, there shouldn't be any way to go back to the original data. Then the final one is ensure that there is some auditing in place, so your algorithms should be audited for fairness. Now, in all likelihood, you may not have the algorithms yourself, but you need to have something in place to make sure that whatever AI solution you've purchased or deployed into your business, you test it to ensure that it's fair and there's no discrimination in place. At the very least, you can ask the organization that deployed and supplied that solution to do the test and show proof that there is no discrimination and no unfairness. The privacy risk can be mitigated by ensuring that data is anonymized and is anonymized in a systematic fashion. So as soon as the data comes in as part of your workflow, the things that are not required should be removed. And even better still, at the point of collection of the information, it should be anonymized right there, so that there is no risk that the information comes into your system and some catastrophic failure prevents the anonymization step from taking place. And the main thing is that you ensure you're compliant with the GDPR regulations and CCPA for those in California. Now, responsible development is a key one for all of the AI development companies. So like OpenAI and Meta and Google, they have responsible AI development teams. The smaller foundation model creators may or may not have this in place, but it's crucial that every organization adheres to the responsible AI paradigm. It's a multidisciplinary team that needs to be involved, and that team must have an ethicist on board to advise and provide the input that's required in order to ensure that your solution is compliant and is being developed in a responsible fashion. And there must be rigorous testing for safety and for fairness concerns. And the final thing is the ethics must be by design and not ad hoc or a post-development consideration. And the final risk that you'd want to mitigate is the one of monitoring. So there has to be continuous monitoring and evaluation in place. Ideally, you want a human in the loop, so a human oversight, and the human must have the ability to intervene and prevent anything from going externally. Then processes to detect drift should be in place, and any feedback loops must be identified and addressed, and then assess the impacts and any unintended consequences. And in some jurisdictions, you might have a responsibility to report any leaks or any breaches to higher authorities. So you make sure that process is in place. So in conclusion, ethical AI is vitally important, especially as AI solutions are being deployed to every organization, and most organizations want to get ahead with using AI as the boosting factor to their businesses. Ensure that ethical AI is adopted by any solutions you bring in-house and adopted by your employees and by your staff. It's a collective effort across all of the real estate ecosystem. There's no point you being ethical but you interface with another organization that doesn't care about that. So in effect, you ensure that your entire ecosystem and your chain of work is ethical from the beginning to the very final point of exit or entry into your business. So it's a proactive effort and proactive way to integrate the ethics into your business so that you can seize the benefits whilst also mitigating the risk. So it has to be a proactive effort. So you make every effort to ensure that any new solutions coming in are ethical and anything you deploy remains ethical. So we are Autoread.ai. We specialize in deploying automated solutions. We automate your business flow. We create chatbots for you. We create employees that would work for you 24/7. They're ready to handle queries and set up appointments and lead generation 24/7. We are Autoread.ai. Do reach out to us via our website, autoread.ai, so AUTORE.ai, or send an email to ua@autoread.ai. We're also available on socials, Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'd love for you to leave a comment under this video. Tell us what you felt about this video and this session, and if there's anything we missed, let me know. If there's anything you would have loved me to cover even further, do let me know. It's something that we can collaborate on. So thank you so much for watching and for listening. And until next time, keep winning.